Hi guys, welcome back to my review of the weekend. This is Football Heaven 24/7. I'm Jamie Carter, your host. Right, we're basically going to go straight into it. Um, First weekend of the EFL action. On the excuse me, on the Friday night, it was Huddersfield against Burnley. Burnley, obviously, new manager Vincent Kompany. They basically ended up winning 1-0 at Huddersfield. A goal from Ian Matson, a guy on loan, young lad on loan, defender from Chelsea. Burnley pretty much dominated the game from what I saw on the TV. Huddersfield, they were lucky to just end up losing 1-0. I feel that Burnley probably could have won that one 2 or 3-0 easily on another day. So yeah, they started the season really, really well with a 1-0 win. Looking at the other results from the weekend, Blackburn won 1-0 at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Travis scored on the 34th minute. So that sets Blackburn off to a good start. The attendance there was 14,315. So that's life now with the new manager, John Dale Tomlinson, for Blackburn. They got off to a great start. Then Blackpool was playing Reading in a battle of two teams that are deemed to be going to be struggling this season. Blackpool got a goal early on in the 9th minute through Conley. There was a crowd of 10,831 there. So Blackpool start off well. There wasn't really a lot of goals in the Championship this opening weekend. You were lucky to see more than, I think there was 3 goals at most in one of the games, and all the rest of the games were the odd goal or no goals at all. So anyway, yeah, so going on to the game, there was another big clash. Cardiff, as I talked about in a previous episode, and they brought in a hell of a lot of players, and they were up against newly relegated Norwich who were in the Premier League last season. There was a crowd of 19,969 at that game. All the players that stood out on the day, Allsop did fantastic in goal from what I heard from reports. Also, a new signing, Collins, did fantastically well. But ultimately, it was a goal in the 49th minute by another new signing from West Bromwich Albion, Romain Sawyers. Scored a beautiful goal from about 25 yards out, just outside the box. Killed it in. I think the keeper was probably on-sighted by a few defenders, and it led to Cardiff City getting a great result against Norwich, winning 1-0. So that's a great start for them. Over the bridge, the Severn Bridge, and into Bristol territory. Bristol City were away at Hull. They took a lead on the 30th minute through Andre Weimann, who was a top scorer for them last season, with 20 odd goals. So he gets his account off to a good start this season. But then 2 goals from 2 new signings for Hull. Tufan scored a penalty on the 72nd minute, and Seri scored a goal. The guy on who come in from Fulham scored a goal in the 93rd minute of injury time to let Hull City win that game 2-1. So great for them. Good crowd there, 16,000. Then it was Luton against Birmingham, which finished 0-0. Probably not much to write home with there. I heard Luton had their chances, but unfortunately it stayed 0-0. So a good point there for Birmingham. And then Middlesbrough and West Brom in the evening kickoff at 5:20, 5:30 even. Middlesbrough took the lead through Isaiah Jones on the 10th minute. And then, as I predicted in the previous episode, West Bromwich Albion got an equaliser on the 51st minute from John Swift, coming in, who's obviously coming on from a transfer from Reading, who he played for last season. So great start for Swift. Not a bad start for Middlesbrough or West Brom, because that's a tough game for both of them. So 1-1 draw there. And then new signing Cresswell, on loan from Leeds United. He scored 2 goals to help Millwall win 2-0 against Stoke. And then Rotherham against Swansea. Swansea had a great record against Rotherham, but Rotherham took the lead early on from Obene on the 16th minute, and then Darling scored an equaliser on the 38th minute for Swansea. The last game of the day, to mention, was a Lancashire derby between Wigan Athletic, who've just been newly promoted, and Preston North End, and that ended up in a pretty drab 0-0 affair in the end. But there was some good chances for Wigan. They had overall the best chances in the game, but ultimately it finished 0-0. So that's how it So at the top of the table after the first weekend, we're still 2 more games to go. There's a game today at 12 o'clock on the Sunday, Sunderland against Coventry, and there's a game on Monday, Watford against Sheffield United, which is a game of two teams that will be fighting it out to obviously return back to the Premier League. So, yeah, so interesting weekend so far. We'll go into the League One, do a little review on League One and see what happened there this weekend. I hope that your teams all did well, whoever you support this weekend. Like I said, I went to watch Leyton Orient against Grimsby Town. That finished 2-0 to Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient had a really good game in there. They in the first 20 minutes, it could have been 3-3. There was that many chances. So, but Leyton Orient overall, they shaded it. I want to do a shout out, obviously today. England women are in the European final at Wembley against Germany. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff today on the Sunday. So hopefully they can bring it home. Although I don't say it's bringing it home, but it's good for the women's game. Apparently, there's going to be about 11 million viewers apparently for today's match. So that's good progress for the women's game. Anyway, let's go into do a rundown on League One's results pretty quickly. I'm not going to concentrate too much on all the different odds and ends, but we'll get into it anyway. So, Accrington Stanley 2, Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 1 against Forest Green 2, Cambridge United 1, MK Dons 0, Cheltenham 2, Peterborough 3, Derby County 1, Oxford United 0. Conor Hourihane scored in that game as I predicted. Ipswich drew 1-1 with Bolton at home. Leicester 1, Exeter City 1, Morecambe 0, Shrewsbury 0, Plymouth 1, Barnsley 0, Port Vale 2, Fleetwood 1. Sheffield Wednesday against Portsmouth, meeting of two big teams who could potentially go up from League One. That finished 3-3, and Wycombe won 3-0. So that puts Wycombe top of the table, Peterborough in second, and then in the playoff areas, it's Forest Green, Port Vale, Cambridge, and Derby County. Go quickly into the League Two. Just doing a quick rundown today. Don't want to go on too much about it all. Couple of teams that come down. The first team that were down from League One, they were playing against Gillingham in this first League Two game. They won 2-0 against Gillingham. Bradford and Doncaster, kind of a local Yorkshire derby. 0-0 that was. There was a massive crowd at that game, 19,000 odd. Carlisle beat Crawley 1-0. Harrogate beat Swindon 3-0. Leyton Orient against Grimsby, there was 8,557 there, the game I went to. That finished 2-0 to Leyton Orient. Moncur penalty and James an absolute scorcher from 25 yards out on his left peg. Northampton won 3-2 against Colchester at home. Rochdale lost 2-1 at home to Crewe. Salford won 2-0 at home to Mansfield. Stockport on their first game back in the Football League for 11 years lost 3-2 at home to Barrow. Excuse me, Paddy Madden scored as I predicted. Sutton drew 1-1 at home with Newport. Tranmere lost 2-1 to Stevenage. And Walsall absolutely smashed Hartlepool in the biggest result of the weekend in League Two. And that was 4-0 to Walsall against Hartlepool at home. Goals from Comley and a hat-trick from Johnson. So, obviously, Walsall are at the top of the League Two table after the first weekend's fixtures. Harrogate are in second, Wimbledon are in third, Leyton Orient, Salford, Barrow and Northampton make up the current playoff places. It's early days yet, not much to report on. That was just a basic quick review. What I'm going to do on Monday is I'm going to talk about how far off I was with the predictions for the weekend's action. Good luck to the Lionesses today against Germany. Let's hope they bring it home, win the trophy. And obviously, we'll go more in depth on a Monday morning about a lot more things to do with the weekend's action. Have a great weekend. What's left of it. All the best.